All right, we are in the Korean Classic tournament in the weekend round. This has been a crazy, crazy ass tournament. So, like, really, the honest truth is minimum score is minus 32. And in my 88 account, I shot a 32 and didn't make the weekend round. There was 6, 8 people that didn't make the weekend round with a 32. There are 32s that made it, but there was 32s that didn't. And in my 77 account, I tanked the opening round and shot a 29 and was like the last person to qualify with a 29. There was some 29s, but I think I was at the bottom of the pack. And in this account, my odd account, I shot a 32 and I was in sixth. So if the brackets that I've currently been in hold true, like 35 to 36 is probably what. I mean, there could be somebody with a higher score than that at the top, but 35 is pretty much kind of like where you start to have the conversation that you might be bannering, or you might be close to getting a banner. But it's going to have to be higher than a 32. So we've got some holes. Hole number 1 we have to pick up, and hole number 2 is par 3, which we have a great opportunity to get a hole in 1 on that. And hole number 3 is a par 5. We have a great opportunity to get an Albie. And hole number 4 is iffy. And then hole number 5, we have to get the Albie. Hole number 6, we have to get the Eagle. And then we really have to get the Eagle on hole number 8. I mean, we have to. So we've got to pick up 8, 5, and 1. 8, 5, 1, and 6, no matter what. And then we have to pick up something else on top of that. So there are opportunities out there. Here we go. Here we go. Hole number 1. So I'm taking a APOC. Actually, do I have a Thor's Hammer? Level 6. It's 1 point. I gotta make a look at my notes here. Thor's Hammer. It's 1.6 per ring. Break a Thor's Hammer. Do I have a bag with a Thor's Hammer? And I do. I'm going to switch this bag back to the extra mile that was in it. I'm taking a Kingmaker. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. Now, up to this point in the tournament, we haven't really had any serious headwind, so it's been pretty favorable. We've had a little bit of headwind on some of the par 3s and stuff, but on the holes that we have to get, we've had really favorable wind. And we get really favorable wind again. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I'm doing 10% on the drive. Times whatever the wind is, divided by 1.7. All right. Let's get at it. Should be 6 topspin. There's probably a lot of people today that are ending up in the rough on the left-hand side. They've been trying to get up into that hole, and the wind's been, for the most part, blowing to the right. So if they don't pull it correctly, they just end up a little closer to the green or on the green. But today, instead of tailing out in the little hollow right there, it'll push them off to the left, and they'll end up tailing off into the rough and just be right off the green in the rough. Six top spin. And I'm going to be at the plus 10 mark. I didn't write that on my notes, but I remember it now that I'm looking at it. Plus 10 mark, plus 10 mark. Opponent got everything they wanted. That's pretty much where everybody's wanting to land, except for me. I'm not. I'll be just a little farther back, but about the same distance from the cup. Max, and there's 3, there's 6, and a sliver. Plus 10 mark. 3.3, 2.13 rings. Hitting it perfect. Pretty close to the same spot, I think. That actually might be the closest I've been, like the best shot all week. I put that little teeny sliver. I've been back just a little. Put that little teeny 6 in a sliver of topspin. The risk there is if you hit it great to the left, you'll run out of fairway and it'll bleed off if you do anything more than 6 of it. It can get off. You need to hit it perfect or 1 ring great to the right. Eagle. We still got some work to do. We want to see the same result. Getting in the hole. Woo! Wind was about a half a factor, so it was like a 2.5 wind. All right, just made it in the hole. Just made it. Hole number 2. All right, I love this hole, but I've only hit 1 hole-in-1 on it this week. Back. Okay. I'm going to take a Hornet. This account I use a Hornet instead of the Kingfisher, and I'm going to take a Navigator. And it's at mid club, and with my Hornet, it is 1-3 at mid. 1-3. So it'd be 1.2, I'm doing a 20% wind adjustment, times the wind, divided by 1.3. Here we go. Here we go. Let's get a hole-in-1 right here. It's all about feeding it down to the cup. So if you get, there's a, I'm not going to say a trough, but there's a hill right there with a slight valley in it. And if you can get your speed and everything right, so you enter that, come off that hill right down through that valley, it'll kind of funnel it towards the cup. But if you're off on either side of the valley, it'll wash out when it gets to that point, and then it'll float off to the left or the right. Watch when it gets down to the hole and it spins around and looks back towards the tee box, and you'll see the little hill I'm talking about there with the little valley. Four, 5, 4.15 rings. There's 4.15. Hitting it perfect. Didn't have enough speed, that little teeny bit of backspin I put on there. There is a no spin move that you can do on this where you don't do any spin. I ended up past the green one time. It freaked me out. If I wouldn't have did any spin there, I'd had just that little teeny bit. It was right, it caught it right at the very top, that little indentation, but it ran out of speed. It didn't fall down the hill, damn it. You do not want to be long here. You can see down where it washes out down there at the bottom. Go back a little bit and pause it. There's a little hollow spot down there. You can see the shadow. It's darker. and everything wants to wash down to that spot. You can get lucky. I saw somebody this week get lucky and they actually had enough speed, they rolled off the back and they just rolled down to the fringe. But if you just barely make it past the cup, and it'll roll down and funnel down into that hole, and that's a max overpower putt up the hill. Still like my odds on this hole this week. Today I've still got one more count to play and the back here, so I still got 3 more chances to pick that up today. This is one of those holes that you could get super aggressive and play and end up rolling off back there. And I missed the putt earlier this week, so I don't want to do that again. But you can't be tentative. You still got to get to the hole. Dang it. All right, this is a hole right here that they could change up by putting headwind in, because we got pure side wind. Excellent. Excellent. Let me look at my ball inventory here, because I really think with a Hornet, I was playing this in my 88 account with a Falcon, but I've got a upper developed Falcon that's got a bunch of stuff. It's got better ball guide and more topspin. But that topspin should work. The 80 topspin should work on this. If I try and hit it far, way far up there, I'd need to bring one of these balls right here. Let's bring that. One of these balls right here would probably work too, but I got more of the other ones. Alright, and I'm going to bring a extra mile. We need as much topspin as we can get. And that back right there. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to get up there to do a rough bump, and there's 2 rough bumps. There's a long iron and a short iron. But you got to bring out a club that's got enough topspin to get you there, because it's quite a bit. So if it's long iron, it's got to be Goliath. And you really want a ball if you're hitting. Let me look at that ball. Let me think real quick. If you're using that ball's got 2 side spin, and you really want a ball that's got as much side spin as possible if you're hitting the Goliath shot. If you're hitting the shot with the Hornet, it doesn't really matter. You're going more straight at it, so you just need the top spin. So I really need to make it over to where the short iron's at, and not be messing around with the It seems like I've been doing an adjustment on the drive, but I can't remember what it is. And I've said that every single time I've got to this point in the video where I'm on this hole. It's like, and then I get out on the course and I do make an adjustment, and then I forget to write it down. And that might be because we've been pushing the wind back in, so all of the top spin. .8, that'd be 6 rings. Maybe 6 1/4. There's 6 1/4. Puts me about a ring and a power. And that'll put me in the rough. Let's see how it hits in the fairway. No, that's good. Now it put me in the rough. Oh, you know what I did? divided by 2.1. I forgot to divide by my ring set, so I just pulled the wind, which was 6, and I only needed to pull 3 rings and not 6 rings, so I overpulled it. I was wondering what the hell the deal was there. And I was looking at my math going, how is this math getting done so fast? Dang it. All right, we can make this from the rough. Easy money. Thought that was a big pull for the extra mile. I wasn't paying attention. Nirvana. Okay, so 3 divided by where am I at in my club? There's max, there's mid, so I'm at mid club, divided by 4, 7, 3/4 of a ring. Three-quarters of a ring. And then 2 rings straight to the right. Don't forget the 2 rings straight to the right. And it does help on this hole if you have your ball guide through the cup. I couldn't really get any closer, so you can't overpower it, and that's not going to help you. There was room there. It's just you'd have to get like literally right on the edge. Let's not make a bad situation worse. Let's give ourselves a shot at it, but not totally. It's so important not to drop a shot, so if you're not where you want, you can still take the shot if you have it, but recover and move the hell on. All right, I had a great opportunity on that hole and blew it on the drive. And I've made that Albie this week twice. In the hole. Hole number 4. Now, I got a hole-in-one on this hole the other day doing a no-move shot. It's 1-to-1, plus 15%, plus 0.1, no move. And it's like 3.5 backspin and a little bit of right-hand side spin. I don't know what it is. I just dial it in from the spot that I'm at. So it's 1-to-1, so it's plus 1.15 times whatever the wind is, divided by 1, plus 0.1. And it's a sniper and a quasar. Sniper and a quasar. Any bag with a sniper, and any ball, but most importantly the quasar. The wind was blowing tailwind. All right. No move. Punch in the wind, get a wind number, make adjustments, hit perfect, go in the hole. That's the order of operation. There might be some other stuff in between, but that's the 2.8, 3.32 rings. .32 rings. There's 3. There's 2.5. There's 3.2. Isn't it perfect? Get in the hole. And I did the +1 right there, and I didn't need to do the +1. Front. No +1. I will tell you that of all the ways that I've come at this hole, that right there, and the deal is you're coming up the left hand side of the little mound that the green or the pin's sitting on. And so it's wanting to run up the hill straight. Whereas if you're coming at it like my opponent's coming at it, there's a dome up in the front. It's like hitting the the toe of your shoe where it's rounded like that. And if it's off trajectory even a little bit, it's going to start going in one direction or another. So it immediately breaks off when it hits it. And it's hard to get your trajectory right. We'll see if my opponent with their precision ball. And you got to remember, precision is only if you have it all set up right. It doesn't change your The thing I liked about theirs is they were going a little fast because they came in and they bounced over most of that area. They hit right at the base of it and then bounced over it, and so it didn't get affected that much by it. They came in with enough speed that they blew past the break. The risk there is that you'll hit the flagpole and bounce off, or you'll have enough momentum you can flip out of the cup. They've gotten better on that because they were doing gravity defying shit where it would spin around 5 fucking times and then bounce out of the hole. That doesn't happen. It shouldn't be able to go any more than what it did right there, where it goes around the cup and pops out the perpendicular other side. It starts going beyond that and flies out of the hole, then that means that the cup is a funnel. Hole number 5. Hole number 5. Alright, we have to get hole number 5. There's just no two ways around this. Which way's the wind blowing on this? We've had favorable wind all week on this, and we still have favorable wind. I'm bringing out a bag with a APOC. I'm using my extra mile because it has more topspin. Not that I'm using the more topspin. Am I using the more topspin? I'm using all of it and then 2.5 of the and I did 2.5, and I think it needs to be 2 3/4. 2 3/4 topspin boost. Two 2 3/4 topspin boost. I've been like right at the top of the hill. If I could just get over, I've been actually on the pin side, the flagpole side of the hill, but it just barely rolled up at the top, and I'm still in the fairway. If you have just a little bit to catch that hill, it'll just float down onto the green and then roll down towards the cup. You get your shot. Been just a tit short. And I've been doing 30%. So 1.3 times the wind divided by 2.1. I go first. Wind 3. 1.85 rings. And there's all of the topspin and 2 3/4. .85 rings. There's the 1.85, and that puts me a little teeny bit into power. I'm going to just rub the nubs. Still a little short. That's what I'm saying. I'm just barely cresting the hill, and it comes to a stop. Just a couple more feet of movement. Once it catches that fringe, it'll take off like a skating rink and just roll out towards the cup. It washes out down there. I ended up on the back side of the green. I had too much on. Didn't really like that. I do remember playing this the first time through when I first started playing, and I have hit it over the green. Been a long time since I did that, but it can happen. See if my opponent can get over there. Very nice. And they're right in the top. You want to stay up at the top so it enters at the top and then rolls down to the cup. I was a little low. If I had more speed, I would have been able to shoot out towards the cup, but not enough. I got a shit ton of work to get done. Oh fuck, I missed it. Missed it. Perfect. A 1-ring grate. That was like a 2-ring grate to the left. Oh my god. Oh my god. Dropped a shot off the minimum score. Now I gotta pick something up that I needed to pick up to win to cover my ass, and then go back out and pick up something else. Dropping 1 shot off minimum score is a killer. It's a round killer. Sometimes you can get in those rounds where you can recover, but this is one of those tournaments where you can't drop anything. You got to keep everything, and then you got to pick up everything. There's no room for a drop shot. All right. That's why we practice. Still got hope. Hit perfect. I could write that on my notes. Put the ball to draw. Plug my stuff in here. Hold on. I had to bring my charger over. We played D&D last night until like fucking after midnight. Started at like 3 in the afternoon. Well, number 6. All right, which way's the wind blowing? Okay, we got a headwind. So I've been taking this once again with my Thor's hammer because I've got better ball guide, but I'm going to bring out the biggest hitting club that I have. And then you want to play this with headwind with a 5-power ball. Berserker will work fine. APOC. Alright. And I'm doing, with my APOC, I was doing 1 1/4 backspin. It's 40. Let me get my math going here for the wind. Times the wind divided by 1.5. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm doing like a 40% wind adjustment on it. And I still don't think that's enough. It might need to be like a 50% wind adjustment. I have no idea what's out there in the community, but just hitting the shot, going forward and watching where you end up. Some of it's trajectory. You can't see the end of your ball guide, so it's like you can look at it and go first. Like 1 1/4 backspin. .3, 4 rings. And I got sand to deal with. It looks like 4 rings right there. Right back to the red line. A little teeny bit of power. I'm just going to rub the nubs. That headwind, I probably didn't need to use that much backspin, but that's all right. The whole goal here is eagle. Let's just get on track. Let's not drop 2 shots in a row. Nice, very nice. Hitting it perfect. Would have liked to have hit that last shot on that other hole perfect. All right. What is our next hole? Hole number 7. Goliath Katana. We got a rough bump. +2 in headwind. See which way the wind's blowing. 1.15 on the next hole. 15% times whatever the wind is divided by. I'm in mid club. It's 2.2 with a Goliath plus. All right, which way's the wind blowing? Got tailwind. +0.2. Got the wind. All right. What I need on this hole is a Goliath and a Katana. So one of these bags must have a Goliath in it. And we need a Katana. Play it up. All right, these next 3 holes are critical. And I got opportunities on all 3 of these holes. So those balls they had for sale this week, the ones with the topspin boost, there's 3 holes in this tournament that ball works great on. See which way my opponent's going to go. With the Grizzly, they're going to have to hit from the island or be in front of the rough and then use backspin. They're obviously going to do backspin with their Guardian right at the red line. And if you wanted a big backspin long iron, bring out your Grim Reaper. It's got, once it gets to like mid club, somewhere in that neighborhood, it gets all of its backspin, and it's got 100 or close. It's the Guardian of Long Island, long irons. 3.1. It's like 7. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1. 1.82 rings. There's 1.82. Hitting it dead center perfect. Woo! In the hole. Okay, I made up for the one I dropped, but man, it would have been nice to have that one. Would have been nice. All right. This next hole, I'm using the same ball, but I'm using my number 1 bag. And it's Extra Mile Rapier. That wind will work. That wind will not affect me in the least. 1.25 times whatever the wind is, divided by 2.1. Using a katana and an extra mile max curl. It's a blind curl shot. And you can do it with a 2-power ball, and it doesn't matter which way the wind's blowing. You can always get it done and set the shot up exactly the same way and hit perfect, and it does exactly the same thing every time, every time, every time. Miss one of those steps and I'm not guaranteeing my work. All right, I've seen every single person except for one has tried what my opponent's doing here, and I've only seen one person make it. So it's like maybe 10% of the time I've seen people make it. And most of them screw up just before they even get over there. But the ones that get over there, almost every one of them's been in the sand. All right. Max top spin and however much side spin you can get on. Find the spot. I don't know where it's at, but find the spot where the ball guide is doing that right there. 2.7. 25%. Add 25% onto the wind. 1.6. 1.6. Max curl, no overpower. Hit one ring grate to the right. It bleeds out there in front. And now I'm not sure about the one ring grate to the left. I think the shot is set up so that you can hit a one ring grate to the left, a perfect, and a one ring grate to the right, and it'll end up right there. Obviously the perfect, and if the left makes it, it would be a little closer to the cup, but it's not 1.1 times the wind divided by 2.4 plus 0.1. All right, here we go. I'm in mid club. I know that. I know this. Two is 1.1 rings, 1.01 or 1.05. There's one. I mean a sliver. Hitting it perfect. And just fucking smoke to the cup. Oh. Plus 0.2. I put a plus 0.2 and circled it. I have smoked that edge of the cup, and I was doing a straight up 10%, so I added on plus 0.1 and I made it. So I was like, okay, that's enough. But like right there, fucking plus 0.2 or a solid plus 0.1, and just did the 2.1 right there. And I did 1.1, and I did 1 and a sliver, just putting on the whole 1, rounding it up. And I'm going to make that note as well. Round up. Round up. Man, that is a great freaking look at it right there. With a cheap club or a cheap ball. Damn it. Let's look at this hole. I do like the odds though. Having fun, I guess that's what's important. Power 5 ball gets you here, and I was trying to lay up in here, but this is a difficult terrain to try and lay up in because everything's moving off in directions, and you're trying to woe it up. You got to have enough to get over here, and then enough to get all the way over, and then you're trying to woe it up, and it's easy to get in the as big as it looks. It's easy to get in the rough. So now I'm just trying to get one bounce here, one bounce in front, one bounce in front of the sand, and then come over and try and end up in this area right here. And if I have to take the shot from the sand here, then I do, but I'm all I have to do is hit it perfect, and I still have a great opportunity for it to go in the hole. And I'm trying to do it without, like, I may have to, depending on which way the wind's blowing, I may have to put on a little bit of overpower. Which way is the wind blowing? I probably won't have to put on any overpower. And I've been doing a plus 30 on the drive, but I'm not so sure that it shouldn't be a plus 20 times whatever the wind is, divided by 2.1. I'm going to take an extra mile. So let's pick an extra mile bag. And I want to bring all my accurate, well, no, I'm going for it so far down there that I really want to bring out my accurate stuff. Do I have an extra mile with a, I'm not going to be really using, I'll go ahead and take that bag. I need a 5-power topspin boost ball. That one, look, I have one. Look at that. There's some other balls that were on some of these other holes. Like, there's really 3 of the holes out there that ball right there works on. But of the 6 that are left, there's several of those holes that a special ball would work on those as well. It would really be nice if you could go in and practice on the weekend and then go out there and say, hey, it'd be nice to have a couple of these types of balls in my inventory, and go into the store and buy a 5-pack, enough to play that hole. If you wanted to practice, if you were a practicer, you'd have to buy 10 on all of the top spin, and however much side spin will work on top of it. Four, 4.3, 2.5 rings. Let's try and get lined up with the wind. There's 2.5. I've been in the sand before, so this isn't anything new here. That sounds actually not that bad, because you can play it pretty close. Pretty close. I can run out my topspin. I think I've got 100 topspin, so I can play it exactly like I play a rapier. See what kind of range I'm in. I think I'm actually in the 16 per ring range down there in my Spitfire, but I might be even closer than that. You can obviously get the same thing done with a Titan. Where am I at in my cloud? Shit, I'm fucking close. Close. Let's hit that perfect. One ring great, 2 rings great to the left. Perfect, that is in. Let's see if my opponent can get it. That's the cool thing about being up close. If you play with a Spitfire, it is exactly like playing with your rapier, but just a little harder to hit perfect. I played with the Malibu for a little while until I got a Spitfire. For me, the sand wedge and the rough iron are, all the rest of that shit is a bonus. Being able to do what you do right there when you get your clubs upper developed, where you can run out topspin like that and you can play it like a rapier, that's all fine and dandy. But when you first start playing, what you really want with your rough iron and your sand wedge are distance, because above all else, they're distance clubs. And when you're in a fairway bunker, or you're in the rough, right in the middle of the fairway, having a freaking Nirvana in your bag or having a Spitfire in your bag is huge. I mean, when your Spitfire gets to 120, which is like pretty early in its life expectancy, like third level or something, when it gets to 120, it's like, damn, that's a long iron. All the rest of the sand wedges are short irons, and now you're all of a sudden hitting out of the sand with a long iron. You can get a lot more done with a long iron than a short iron. Especially a Nirvana. I mean, it's the same as a Goliath. We think of a Goliath as being the beast long iron. Well, shit, a Nirvana is the same thing, 135. And it has some topspin. Not as much as a Goliath, but it's right behind it. Hole number 10. All right, so we finished the front 9 with a 15, and really the minimum score needs to be 16, so I dropped that Albie. And I didn't pick up the hole number 8, par 4. So I mean, I picked 3 shots up, but 2 of the ones that I really need to make that are part of minimum score I didn't make. So this shit starts to add up. So even if I shot this 15 on the back, I mean, those 2 strokes, averaging a 17 and shooting a 34, then you need to pick up 1 in order to get yourself in the conversation. So now it's got to be it'd have to be a 20 on the back. Now we're starting to get ourselves out of the realm of possibility. But I do think on every hole I have a great opportunity. Any one of these holes could drop. So, and I screwed up several drives here. I screwed up this one. This hole right here is a 2-ring grate on a short chip. Is not good. And this one here is just so close. All right, there you have it. That was my practice round. So I'll probably play my 77 account next, because I got wind stuff. I kind of know what the wind is on the front, and then I'll play my auto account on the back, and then I'll play my 77 account. So I will see you there. Thanks for watching, and hopefully everybody's having a great weekend round.